Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday Wine with Ana Belaval. I am Ana Belaval, and I come to you live from Chicago, Illinois, where the only sign of spring is my blouse, because I think I started drinking a little early today because it started snowing right in front of my eyes with the sun shining. I know. I complain about the weather a lot. I should be over it. I've lived here long enough. Enough, Belaval. I know, enough. So who's joining us? Let me see. I hope that a lot of you can make it to this conversation because I see that this is a really popular topic. I don't know if the pandemic had us rethinking a lot of our values, a lot of our habits, a lot of our goals, from I'm going to redo my backyard, I'm going to paint that room I've never painted, to I'm going to work out more often, to I'm going to eat healthier. And because we've been stuck for a year inside, that path, it gets a little bumpy, right? Because at the beginning you go gung-ho. Yep, I got this. I worked out more than ever between spring and summer of last year. Oh my goodness. I think it helped my mental health. I think it helped me because my daughter kept baking stuff. So I was in great shape. And then my emotions got the best of me. I got tired of working out inside. It started getting cold. I couldn't go home to see my parents for Christmas. And I just ate whatever was offered. And I gave myself some time. And I said, it's okay. You'll jump back on the wagon. I don't think that's the journey for a lot of people. I think if you've struggled with your weight for a long time, you feel like you're always going to be in a rut. And you're going to try something and get really excited and then drop it and not pick it up again. And a lot of people are always thinking, what's going to do that trick? What's going to make it happen? And I think my guest is going to tell you that it's all inside, in the head, in the heart, and in the support that you get. So hello, Ezekiel, Jeremy, Susie, Vilma, Sue. I know I'm going to bring our guest in. It's red today because I knew that my guest could be looking at what I was imbibing. So I said red better so that Jonna Leshock, A, doesn't report to my friend Marcus that I'm drinking at 5 o'clock, and B, realizes that this is good for my heart. All right. I am going to bring in my friend Jonna Leshock, who is a health coach, and she's going to tell us what does that mean as well. Hi, Jonna.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
I'm so happy you said yes, because it's really interesting. I didn't do this because I saw Marcus's picture saying that he had lost 25 pounds in 3 years. I don't know where he was hiding them.
He lost it 3 years ago.
Oh, 3 years ago.
It didn't take him 3 years to lose 25 pounds.
No, he probably took him 2 months. Anyway,
It did.
It wasn't that. It was that talking to my digital team, we kept saying, wow, people are Googling a lot of keto, a lot of paleo, a lot of all these diets. People really want to live a healthy lifestyle, but they're doing it a lot on their own. And I noticed that you had been mentoring people for a while and being very honest about your story. So for people who don't know, Jonna Leshock is a health coach. What does that mean, my friend?
Yeah. Well, a health coach, a lot of people think a lot of things about that, but really I partner with people. We kind of talk about where you are currently in your life, where you want to be, right? What are your goals? What are you looking to achieve in your health? And then I kind of give you a roadmap and the tools on how to get there. I'm a health coach for Optavia, so that's a program that I partner with, and there's different plans for different people, kind of depending on your goals. And so we talk about all those things, and I present those plans or an appropriate plan as an option. But then I partner with you, and it's amazing for me because I kind of get to walk alongside of people and encourage them along the way. And my real role is just to point them to all the tools they have available to them. It's quite amazing.
I know, because I've heard of a lot of friends that have worked with you that I didn't know, and today came out of the woodwork.
I know.
And they can't say, I know, they can't say enough wonderful things about you. Obviously, she's not a nutritionist. She's not a doctor. She's affiliated with this program. She comes from a place of honesty with her experience. So if you are starting any adjustments in your diet, you should consult your doctor ahead of time. You can consult a nutritionist. And we're not saying this is a cookie cutter that's going to help anybody. But Jonna admitted that she has been trying all sorts of diets for 20 years. Tell me about that journey, my friend.
Yeah, well, sadly, it started when I was 17 years old. And this will date me probably, but when Atkins diet was kind of hot on the scene, I was a senior in high school. So that was my first real experience with a diet, right? And right before prom, I lost over 20 pounds, which I had no business being on a diet and doing that at that age. So that's really sad. That's kind of where, I could go back. I struggled with my weight a lot, 5th and 6th grade, and that was hard. Those are really hard years. So, that was a hard time in my life. It was, I'm really tall, I'm 5'8". And so I was probably close to that height, right? In 6th grade.
Back then.
So to be heavier and tall and a girl, that was hard. And so I think that stuck with me a lot. And then I grew more and I slimmed out in high school, and I really didn't struggle with my weight until senior year. And I was always athletic. I played three varsity sports as a freshman, very athletic as an adult. I love sports. I love to work out. But I just had a problem with my weight. And so anyway, dieting started with Atkins at 17, and over the next 20 years, I mean, you name it. I've done cleanses, I've done isogenics, tried Weight Watchers, lived a paleo lifestyle for quite a long time, dragged Marcus through Whole30.
We always find out that Marcus is on because at 5 a.m. he starts talking about what Jonna has made him eat, what they're trying that was new. So because she's like, I think I told you this. I said, no, your husband is pretty open about what diet he's on and what point.
Poor guy, he is such a trooper. I mean, come on.
He is, because you fed him all sorts of things, I have to admit.
I did. And it was really more that I needed that support. So I'm like, you got to do this with me, because I knew, I'm like, I can do this on my own. It's not happening.
I have to tell you, my husband, anytime I say I want to quit carbs, he will do it with me. If I say I'm not doing sweets, he's very supportive, and that has helped a lot. The problem with me, Jonna, is that I don't like to think that I'm going to have to deprive myself of something forever.
Yeah, nope, I get that. And that's what I love about this program in particular, because it focuses on how to make healthier choices in whatever environment you're in. And really, like, yes, there's a period of time while you're on program and you're on plan and you're, if weight loss is your goal. Not everybody who comes into Optavia has a weight loss goal. I work with some people who just need healthy habits because they don't feel well. They're not sleeping well. They just don't feel good, and they're kind of all over the place, right? So if there's a weight loss goal, then we're on a weight loss plan. Then there is some more restriction while you're on plan. But while you are on plan and your body's physically getting healthy, we're working on your mindset the whole time. That's my job, right? Check in with you every week. When I say point you to the tools, I'm pointing you back to the habits of health. And we're talking about building habits in your life. So you're learning while you are on programs, because once you're off program, we're reincorporating all the whole foods, all the food groups back into your diet in a healthy way. Right. So nothing's off the table long term. And now you've learned, you have the tools where you can have things in moderation. You've learned how to do that and you enjoy it. Right. So no, you can't have donuts every single day and expect to be healthy. That wouldn't be healthy. Right. But there's nothing wrong with having a donut every now and then. Right. Because if you can be mindful and responsible and do it in a healthy way. Those are the things I've learned.
Why do you think the other diets never really worked for you?
Because for me, there was no education component to it. So like when I was, for example, when I was on paleo, right, I had the paleo books, I read the books, I've got the paleo cookbooks, so I know what I'm making. But and thankfully I had Marcus, so I wasn't really on my own, right? But it was just kind of me left to my own devices. I know what foods I can eat, right? but I didn't know, I had no portion control. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what that meant. I just knew, hey, I can eat whatever I want within these food groups and move on with my day. So I did it. I stuck to my food groups, and I stuck to the plan. But I think I can only guess I was consuming so many calories because I gained weight on paleo. I don't know how that's possible when you're eating meat, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, healthy fats. Like, what? I gained weight. And this was over the course of over a year. I mean, I was trying to really make this a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really practical for me mentally, because then you go to the party, and unless you're bringing your own paleo dishes to share, which I did most of the time, but that's exhausting too. It's like I wasn't learning how to engage with all sorts of foods and all sorts of environments in a healthy way. I wasn't able to make healthy choices there in the moment if I didn't have the specific foods there available to me.
But wouldn't that happen to you at a party anyway?
Well, what do you mean?
Like when you go to a party, can you always find something to eat? Like if the person that is throwing the party, it's a Super Bowl Sunday and there is no vegetable tray. It's only,
Right. So then what I've learned to do is make the healthiest choice possible with what's presented. Gotcha. Where when I was restricting myself to just paleo, right? Or if you're just keto or whatever, then you have something, just paleo has to be there, or just keto has to be there, or you got to bring it yourself, right? Yeah. Where now I can go in any environment and go to any restaurant and go out to eat, and I can make a healthy choice based on the menu, the healthiest one possible for me, right? Gotcha. And I feel great about that.
Right.
And I wasn't always able to do that.
Right. Why didn't the points system work for you?
Oh, that was Weight Watchers. It did. So here's the thing. Yeah. With a lot of paleo, I did not lose weight, but like Weight Watchers, I did lose weight. I just got sick of counting points. To me, that wasn't realistic anymore. I don't want to count my points forever. Right. Also, the big thing with that was, and this was back in the day, it was in my early 20s. So maybe things have changed with the program. I don't know. Right. But I also knew I could save up all my points and have a Big Mac or a piece of cake or whatever the heck I wanted for dinner because I was within my points. Now again, what is that teaching me as far as really truly being healthy? It's not a healthy choice, but I was within my points.
Yeah.
But then you're also going all day without eating. There's so many things with that, so many issues.
And have you ever tried fasting?
I did intermittent fasting.
Man, now, I can throw any at you, and you're like,
it's 20 years done that.
I did the cayenne pepper with the lemon, the Beyonce.
That's the lemonade diet. I did that. I have both books. I read both of them. It's called the Master Cleanse.
Bought the t-shirt and the book.
No joke. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God, Jonna. Okay, so go ahead. Anyway. What were you saying?
Fine. Well, nothing. It's I'm just crazy. It's crazy. I was going to say I did Master Cleanse even on a trip. I was with Marcus. We were in Mexico, and I was like, nope, we're going to be here 10 days. I'm doing the Master Cleanse because I'm away from the house. I'm doing the lemonade diet. I did it for 10 days in Mexico. All I had was because I know.
Why would you ruin everybody's time like that, including yours?
I know. That's my point. Like, that's crazy. And sure, I lost my 10 pounds that week, but what happened the second I got home and back into real life? I just gained it all back.
Right.
Because that doesn't teach you anything.
And the intermittent fasting.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I do know people who do really well on intermittent fasting. I know people who do really well on keto. This is my experience. So with intermittent fasting, it actually was not healthy for me. I was seeing a nutritionist at the time, doctor. It was hard on my adrenals. So I had some symptoms going on with severely dry skin on my hands. We didn't know what it was. Turns out that was a sign of adrenal fatigue. And I was working out in the fasting state because I couldn't eat till 10 and my gym class was, before 10. And so again, not practical for me in my life. And I'm sure I could have adjusted my intermittent fasting times, but per her recommendation, she was like, stop what you're doing. This isn't great for you.
And working with the nutritionist didn't work either?
So She is, yes, it did work for me. She's a doctor. And so she's doctor of chiropractic. She specializes in nutrition. We were treating some medical issues with whole food supplements. So nutritionist is her title, but it wasn't what you're thinking of traditional nutritionist where I'd go in just for my diet.
Got it.
She had me cut gluten and dairy from my diet, which for me and some things I had going on with my gut was healthy for me. And so based on that medical advice, that's practices I follow. Celiac runs in my celiac runs in my family. So I have a gluten intolerance. So I stay away from gluten, dairy. I have minimally.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so I want to show some of the do's and don'ts that you sent me because they are great. Let me make sure that I don't mess this up. Let's do this. Resend. Hold on. Let's share this.
Oh, look at that.
Look at
let's
this.
Start with the do's. There's so much more positive.
You want to try okay, sweetheart. Hold on, because now I have to do this again.
Oh no.
Let's try this again. Hold on, Miss Producer. Okay, we're still sharing.
First.
I know. Hold on. We're going to stop sharing. Okay, now we're going to share screen. My digital team's going to be like, I didn't want you necessarily to tell people what you were doing, but I'm an old lady, so I have to talk through. I have to talk through the what we're showing. Okay, I got your do's here, and then we're going to do this. Share. How about that, Miss Leshock? Better?
I just think it's a lot more fun. Yeah.
Let's talk about the 5 do's to switch your mindset and get healthy.
Right. Drink your water. That is like, I'm always on my soapbox with people. Drink your water. When you're on program, and what I tried to do is give my personal top 5 do's and don'ts that could apply to anybody, whether you're on program, when I say on program, a part of Optavia or not. Okay. These are just general healthy tips I would give to anybody. Again, I'm not a doctor. Okay. I'm not a nutritionist, but my own personal. Drink your water, right? So when you're on program, I require minimum of 64 ounces of water a day, but just something I've learned and picked up, with working with trainers at the gym and things like that, is working your way up to half your current body weight in ounces a day, working your way. Right? If you're only drinking 30 ounces of water a day, we're not jumping to 100, right? But that's where having a health coach comes in handy because we can.
How often do you pee?
Well, this is also something that I've learned a lot, but your kidneys regulate 2 to 3 weeks. They regulate. They get used to the load.
That is the hardest part of and my mother, who has always been a health nut and is watching us because she was dying to see this. My mom will drink a gallon of water during the day and a gallon overnight because it was good for her kidneys and that's what was recommended. She has perfect skin. My mom also, her body's used to it. And I have never been able, I forget to drink it. It's not, Jonna, that I drink something else. It's not like I'm hitting soda. No. Is that, and when I'm thirsty, that's what I'll drink. It's just that I'm not in the habit of drinking it constant. I'm better now. I'm much better now.
Okay. You said the key word, habit.
Mm-hmm.
So drinking water, you have to be intentional, and you want it with a lot of these things. It's about creating a habit, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay. So what Brenda says, drinking water is my problem. So
don't like water. See, Giselle, don't like water.
Here's a tip though, that I've learned that I've done now for almost 3 years. I learned this when I first started as a client with Optavia, because I was on the program myself, right? Mm-hmm. Fill a cup of water, put it by your bathroom sink every single night. So when you wake up, first place you go in the bathroom when you wake up is the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody does. Mm-hmm. So you have a drink of water. So that there's medical studies out there that have said that the first thing you consume every day over time is what you'll crave the most of. And we want that to be water. Mm-hmm. So when you have water before coffee, have water before breakfast, before any food, then over time, that's what your body will start craving.
Can I put anything in it?
Well, I mean, squeeze some lemon in it.
Some lemon in it.
Put some cucumbers in it. Put some berries in it.
Berries.
I do
Yes.
essential
Sweet.
oils.
Uh-huh.
I'll drop, now make sure you have a glass or stainless steel, because otherwise you have a problem. But I do like essential oil lemon drops in mine.
Ooh, that
It's
sounds
good.
yummy.
There's
That sounds yummy.
grapefruit. I'll do grapefruit drops sometimes. So
I
you
love
can
that you
spice it
did
up.
drink your water before define your why. That's how important water drinking is for you.
I love it. I think it's a big one. But I feel like drinking water is the catalyst to all the things in your body. Your body, every organ in your body needs water. Like that's a fact, right? Your skin needs water. Your digestive system needs water. You need water to live. Your body's what, 70% water or more?
Yeah.
I mean, we need water.
Yeah.
Your kidneys need it, all of it.
What's define your why?
Yeah. So this is a big one. And this is something I love to talk over with people even before they decide to do a program. We'll have a conversation like, what are your reasons for wanting to make changes to begin with? So I said, what is your why? What are your reasons for wanting to get healthy? And why? And so they'll give me a reason. I'll say, well, why is that important to you? What does that mean? When someone says, well, I want to lose weight, I'll say, well, why do you want to lose weight? And they'll say, well, whatever, I want to lose 40 pounds. I'll say, well, if you wake up tomorrow and you're down 40 pounds, what does that mean to you? How is your life different 40 pounds later? Then the real conversation starts happening, right? Then now we've moved from, I want to lose pounds. And now we're talking about, I want to get on the floor with my grandkids. Okay. That's just an example. But then now we're talking about real life and real things. I want to be, I've had the conversation. I want to be able to paint my own toenails. That's important to me. That's what I want to be able to do. Okay. So these are big deals for people.
And things that are consistent, right? Play with your grandkids, paint your toenails. Not necessarily, I want to fit in my wedding gown. I have a trip to Cancun coming up.
Right. And those things may be a motivating factor. Maybe you do have a trip coming up and that's fine. Maybe that's the thing that gets you started, but that is not going to be the thing to keep you living a healthy life after the vacation. Right.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
Sue wants us to make sure that the essential oil is consumable. Don't put the oil you put in the diffuser.
No. But again, I don't. Yep.
Yeah. I like this. I drink water before each meal and throughout the day. I probably drink a gallon or more a day. That's wonderful. Okay. Now, move your body. And I love this because Natalie Aponte says, I love drinking water, but my problem is adding exercise to my busy schedule.
Yeah. And this is something I've learned too, because I've always loved working out. Not everybody loves it. Right. And so really you want to be exercising you want to move your body or exercise because you love it, not because you're trying to lose weight. You should be doing it because it's something healthy for your body. It's good for longevity, right? It's just a good, healthy habit. So find something that you love. So it doesn't have to be going to the gym every day or lifting weights, move your body. So maybe you're parking farther away in the parking lot and walking into the stores. Maybe if you sit at a desk in your office, you're taking the stairs to the bathroom. Find a bathroom on the different floor every single time. Maybe you're standing up during phone calls. Maybe you get yourself a standing desk. There's different practice. Maybe you're someone who likes to dance, and so you dance around your house. Maybe, we do a lot of like automated things. Maybe you do more things by hand. So maybe you wash the dishes instead of putting them in the dishwasher, or just little ways to get your body up and moving in real life situations.
Wow. Feed your healthy mind.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one. And I'm really big on, I think this program for me touched on so many issues that had nothing to do with food. Right. And so I've had more personal growth over the last couple of years than I could have dreamed. And I had no idea that losing weight would lead me to personal growth. And so find a podcast that you relate to, or if you're someone who likes to read, or just be feeding your mind healthy things. I part of my life is I go to church, and that's healthy for me. And that's a way that I feed my healthy mind. That's for me. Right. So there's different ways for different people, but I think it's important to be focusing on a healthy mindset.
I love it. And number 5, community. Surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah. Don't go at it alone is my thing here. And again, that's why I love this program, because I had a one-on-one coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one-on-one component is great, but community is huge. So this program offers an online community that's full of encouragement and positivity and tips and all the things, right? And we just kind of do it together. But I think that's important, because if you're the only one in your entire world around you in your life doing keto, how long is that going to last?
Right.
You're the only one wanting to get healthy and you don't have partners in that, right? And friends, surround yourself with people who are of the same mindset.
Have you dropped friends because of that?
No, not real friends. I mean, not real friends, but maybe some of my circles have changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. But no, no, that would be, then I don't think they were probably not friends to begin with. But maybe what I'm doing with my friends looks a little different. I mean, I feel like I've changed a lot over the last few years. So things I'm doing has changed. The way I think about things has changed. But I wouldn't say that's bad. That's been really positive growth in my life, and necessary for me.
I love it. All right. Now, can we share the don'ts?
Yes.
Are you okay if I share the don'ts? But wait, have patience with me because I have to figure this out. Clearly keeping it real here by announcing what I'm doing every time. Okay. So now let me share this with you. This was not the point, but listen, this is how I roll. There we go. The top 5 don'ts. Don't skip breakfast.
Yeah. So I've learned this, and this is just something I've learned with program, but it's really important to get your metabolism firing, get it going, as soon as you wake up, right? And so they call it breakfast because you're breaking the fast. You've been fasting all night long. Your body's had time to recoup and rejuvenate, and your organs have time to rest. And now it's time to tell your body we're up, we're moving, and you want to give it energy. You want to fuel it well for the day. And so it's really, a lot of people, I talk to so many people and they will go to like noon on coffee. And your body needs nutrients. It does.
And it's interesting because when people talk to me about the fasting and the cleansing, to me, that sounds like I'm skipping meals. And I didn't think that was healthy.
I wish I can't speak to that. I can't say if it's healthy or not. I know that some people have a lot of success with it, and that's awesome. It didn't work for me. And I think with any of this, you have to find what's going to work for you and be sustainable for you and fit into your life. And that has to be a personal decision. So for me, the fasting, not a fan of it. I don't like it. I don't recommend it. But that's me.
Jonna, this one's going to be really hard for me. Make processed foods and sugar a regular. Don't make them. Don't. That's going to be really hard for me. I was raised on processed food.
So was I.
Sugars.
Like Hamburger Helper all the way, and
Mac and
Little
cheese.
Debbie and
ragu, Italian sauce.
Yeah. You know what my favorites meals. Remember those pies you could get that had like the cherry filling in it? They were like the Hostess, but they were big. I liked them because they were big, because I've always been a big eater. So I'm like, well, that's the biggest dessert. I'm going to have that one. We used to buy so many, we'd freeze them. Yeah.
And I told my husband, because I was reading about how unhealthy cold cuts can be, like you should go buy that at the deli when it's cut and whatever. And my husband's like, but we have to plan this, because this food is not cheap, because that's why processed food is so popular, because it's so cheap, so easy, so fast. So my husband's like, we got to think it through. How many sandwiches are we going to have during the week? You have to be organized.
Yeah. Planning is essential. And that's something else I've learned. And I don't really always like to be structured in planning, but Mark and I've talked about that on Sunday nights. We talk sometimes on different topics. And when we don't plan, you plan to fail.
Agreed. And the last 2 weeks, Steve and I have been planning our meals Forget about healthy or not, just planning them. And the
Yeah.
weeks have gone a little easier because Sunday, I'm of the mindset, I have what we have to prepare the next 5 days or what we're making, what we're ordering out or whatever. And I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And all I have to do is shop for it and end of story.
Yes. That's great.
And I resisted it for so long though.
That we all, I think to some degree, there's so many of us that resist structure.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into a healthy structure, you have so much more freedom in it. Right.
Yeah.
I have found that with so many things in my life. Yeah. So yeah, I don't fight the structure anymore.
Don't think diet, instead think lifestyle.
Yes. I feel like diet is such like a dirty four-letter word. And diet consists of what we put in our mouth. We all have a diet. You're not on a diet, or you shouldn't be, right? Your diet makes up what you eat, right? Mm-hmm. So instead, if you're just thinking, what are your goals? What is it you want to accomplish? And it has to fit into your lifestyle in order for it to really, truly stick and be successful for you. And it should be long-term how you're living your life. Because a diet, anyone can do well on a diet. Anyone can do any of these diets we've talked about and lose weight. But the second you stop the diet, if you haven't developed habits that are lifestyle, you're going to go right back to what you were doing. And all of the weight comes back on. And that's the yo-yo pattern. And that's where people get really defeated. That's where I also
think that if you assume that from now on, because dairy doesn't sit well with you, you're not going to have dairy, it becomes your lifestyle. The same thing as you when you become a vegetarian. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And you create a habit.
Yes. And yes, you got it.
Don't focus on the scale. Instead, focus on habits.
Yeah, I think so many people get caught up in the scale, and the scale should never define you. A scale's a number. It's giving you information. It's just, it's one. I say this, I work with this with my clients a lot. It's one of many ways to measure progress. Just one tool. There's a million other tools. How are you feeling? How are you sleeping? How are your clothes fitting? But I think we get so hung up on this number, and it's so sad. It's so sad. And it does not feed a healthy mindset. So there's some people I work with where I say, we're going to get rid of the scale, put the scale away. And you're going to start telling me what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. We can do measurements because I get it. You want to see, concrete progress when you have a goal. But the scale should not be your sole focus. We should be focusing on healthy habit development because that's what's going to carry you through.
I love it. I love everything you've told us, but I also love how people start asking you, so no rice?
I don't.
We start focusing on what is she taking away from me?
Thank you for saying that. Yes. Instead of focusing on all the things you can't, here's the thing. I can have whatever I want. I can have rice. Sure. I absolutely. But I'd rather don't focus on the things you can't have. Focus on the things you can, first of all. And I can have anything I want, but I choose not to have rice very often. Sometimes I do. I love sushi. But that's my choice.
All in moderation. This is something I learned from my mom, who food is not a big deal for her. She could live without it. And I remember I told you that my mom taught us food in moderation. You can have everything but in moderation. And I have a cousin who's a nutritionist. She's all about moderation. Portion control is her thing, which drives us crazy every time we're all eating a full bagel. And she goes, I just want to remind everybody that half the bagel, that one slice, that's a full portion. Happy Sunday.
This is your mom.
This is my cousin.
Your cousin. I love her. That is awesome. Hey, everyone needs that reminder. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I do have to say, when you go to dinner to her house, the food is very healthy. And there's always a dinner roll because her husband grew up eating dinner rolls.
Yeah.
And
what's wrong with,
And Vanessa has a little bit of ice cream every night. But her thing is always portion control and moderation. What about, I'm asking you some questions that people are posting. What about the point with not saving up calories?
Oh yeah, we skipped that one.
We skipped that, right? Sorry, chick.
Okay. Yeah. So Right. How often is it like, my favorite example is Thanksgiving, where you're like, I'm not eating, I'm saving up so I can eat my Thanksgiving meal. And then what happens? Then you consume an obscene amount of calories in one sitting because you're starving, right? And you have no control at that point when you reach the point of being that hungry. And then what happens an hour later? You're on the couch, you're half asleep, you're exhausted, you have no energy.
You feel like crap.
You feel like crap.
You feel like crap.
And so when I say don't save up your calories, wake up, have breakfast, small portion control, just like you said, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 3 snacks. I eat. Okay. So one of the habits that I have learned because of program is that I eat 6 times a day. I eat 6 small meals a day. I eat something every 2 to 3 hours, something like a small, healthy breakfast, lunch, dinner, 3 snacks in between. That keeps my metabolism going. That keeps me that helps me be satisfied throughout the day. So I don't get to that one meal and like binge eat because I've saved up my calories for it.
Look at how do you deal with this when your clients say this? I wish I turned this on when it started. I just ate a whole can of Pringles.
You know what I say? I say, girl, you're fine. You move forward. Don't worry about anything that's happened in the past that doesn't serve you well. That's not feeding a healthy mind. And like, you'll be fine. You just pick up and think about it next time in a healthy way.
Natalie, she wanted me to ask you this. This is our producer, Natalie, who you may know. What do you eat, Jonna?
I focus on, okay. And so, for the most part, right, during the week, I focus on lean meats, mostly vegetables, fruits. I personally, this is a personal thing. This is not program. This is not, but I try to keep my fruits before noon. That's just a personal thing. So lean meats, fruits, vegetables. I love nuts. But that's just like most days, right? I mean, otherwise again, portion control. If I want to have a little ice cream, I will. I'll have a little ice cream.
What do you do with picky eaters? Because I've seen what you feed Marcus, and those red peppers that you made the other day, Steve will eat that. He will. But there are other things. He doesn't eat a lot of vegetables. My kids, like Amelia, will eat broccoli, maybe green beans. That's why we've never been vegetarian, because we would be bored. The variety, I mean, like, that's the part of me that is always stuck. Like, how do we not get bored? And how do I find things that are healthy that these people that I live with will eat?
Yeah. I think there's a couple things in there. First, kids. I have one picky kid, big time picky kid, and it's really hard. And so I sneak a lot of things in because I still want him to get vegetables. I want him to get, different things. So I will put like cauliflower rice in their eggs because you can't taste it. You can't see it. They have no idea. They have no idea because they will not touch a cauliflower. Are you kidding me? For the longest time, here's another one. My kids thought macaroni and cheese was green. They didn't know that it was yellow because I would steam spinach and puree it. And they're kids, so they're going to eat mac and cheese, right? And so I would add it to their macaroni and cheese because you can't taste it. It doesn't have a flavor. So their macaroni and cheese was dark green for years before they knew. And their friends ruined that.
I was going to say, what house did they go to?
Yeah, it was obviously that only lasted for as long as it could, but that's what I did. And I still will add things like I'll make not homemade because it's part of it. So I love the Rouse spaghetti sauce, but then I'll add, I'll add carrots to it and I add spinach to it. And you can add cauliflower to it. I'll cut up zucchini and I cut it up real small, like real small. Mushrooms. So that's when I'm like, oh, we're having spaghetti because they're getting tons of veggies.
That's smart because they'll have my daughter will have spaghetti every day. And my picky eater is another thing. That's just, he's going to have to grow out of it at some point. I'd like to ask tips for, how do you deal as a health coach with people with metabolic issues, that kind of thing?
Like, I guess I would need an example.
Chris, I need an example of this because I was reading it over here without my glasses, but I really don't understand your question. I don't understand your question.
And being 5 inches, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Probably 5 feet. She may be short, like me, not like you.
Well, height has nothing to do with it.
We'll have her explain it a little bit. Okay. So, drinking water with apple cider vinegar and lemon. How are you about that?
That's interesting. I do go through periods where I will do a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar in my water at night before I go to bed. I've just, as a clear things out, healthy practice.
Yeah.
I've read things that it's supposed to be really good for you. I can't really give you the science behind it, but I have read on it several years ago. So it is something I go through. I've heard it's very good.
I've heard it's very good too. Apple cider is very good for your immune system and your sinuses and all that.
Don't quote me on this, but maybe with balancing the pH or something in your gut. It's good for gut health in some way.
Yes.
I can't remember.
It's good for your gut. It's good for your gut. It's good for your gut. Now, Sweary Mary's like, good idea, sneaking in veggies, because she has a husband also that has a limited menu when it comes to veggies.
Husbands are the hardest.
I swear, sometimes I can convince at least the 13-year-old to try stuff. And I think the longer you go, and I know Natalie claims, our producer, that she's not a picky eater, but sometimes she doesn't eat seafood. There are certain things that she won't touch that are healthy. Yeah. And so to create healthy habits for people that have done processed foods, how do you go about that? You can't go cold turkey, right?
No. So, okay, how many times a week are you eating? Maybe you're swapping out. You got to start small and manageable. So maybe you're swapping out 1 or 2 meals a week, and you're like, I'm just going to, if you're an adult, then maybe you just say, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I can, 1 time a week, I can eat something I don't like. Right. So I just think with a lot of this, you have to start small, but you have to start somewhere. If you don't make a little change somewhere, then you'll never get anywhere. But
here we go. Chris is asking. She has low metabolism. She's been tested, and she's only 5 feet tall. I still don't know what the height has to do with it, but the low metabolism. How does the plan work with all this?
So an Optavia plan, so if there's ever a true medical concern where she's been tested and doctor, then there's a medical sheet where I say, hey, this is the plan I would recommend for you based on you. We would have to talk about goals and I would ask lifestyle questions and where you're at, recommend a plan for you. And then I would say, here's the medical sheet. You have to go to your doctor and make sure you get this approved. That's what I do. When there's a true medical concern where diagnoses have been involved, but I will tell you, I can't make any medical claims. But I do have a lot of clients that have different medical issues, different medications they're on, and they do great. And, thyroid, I can't make medical claims, but
you're not, you're just saying,
I'm thinking of things I'm like true, like situations I've worked with, but I don't know that I can say that specifically. But I always have people involve their doctors.
What is your guilty pleasure when it comes to food?
Guilty pleasure. I am a sugaraholic, so I have to be very careful. If it's sweet, I love it. I am a sugar addict, and it's awful. So anything cake, anything frosting.
So what do you allow yourself?
What do I allow? I have kids. I have a family. Like we go places. So my kids had bundt cakes, like gluten-free bundt cakes recently. And I was like, bundt cake. Okay. So I had some bites of a bundt cake, I'm normal. I'm normal, but I wouldn't go to the store and buy myself a bundt cake to have on a Wednesday night. Like that wouldn't be a good choice for me. Right. So, again, if I'm going to a restaurant, I eat what's there. I'll make the healthiest choice possible for me there. If I'm going to a party, I will find something. I will eat with people and be normal. But I'll choose whatever's healthiest there for me. Jonna, I don't make it an issue, I guess.
No, you don't. No. And because now you have another priority or a higher purpose, if you will. You have another idea. Right. You have a different relationship with food now than you used to.
Yes, that's very true.
Okay, so where can people find you if they want to ask you more questions or they want to find out more about your plan, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I am on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Jonna Leshock. I am on Instagram, but I am not great at social media or technology. So, Facebook
So
Messenger is probably the best.
hold on, let me make sure I spell Leshock right because he would kill me. Um, well, it's CK. Do I have it correctly spelled?
It is on your
No,
label. Where am I
it
looking?
is on my label. It
Mhm.
is on my label. Okay,
Yeah,
oh my God, why am I having a mental fart with this now on Facebook? I want to write another
it's
banner.
LE Shock.
Oh, Eshak. Yeah, I know. Oh my God. You know what this is? I don't know how your husband still has brain cells because I woke up at 1 a.m.
I
to
know.
anchor that show yesterday, and I don't do it every day. And it knocks you out.
You know what? I'll tell you, he's a professional napper.
He,
That guy, any time of day, can be anywhere and say, I'm going to take a nap, close his eyes, and go to sleep. I could never, I would die if I had to get up when
yeah,
he did. I would die.
yeah, yeah, I know. Jonna, thank you so much. You were wonderful. What a great conversation.
Thanks for having me. It was so fun. So fun. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And you can share it with how many people you want. I know that your clients love you and you guys have an amazing family and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Go bye, hon. So everybody, you have Jonna Leshock on Facebook. There's her information. So you can reach out to her, find out more about what lifestyle it is that she's engaged in and is following. And I hope this was good for you because the one thing I love about what she does is that nothing is drastic. Nothing is cut this completely. Don't ever eat it again. I've never liked, and my trainer can tell you, I've never liked when she goes for a week, you can't have any sugars, no alcohol, no this, no that, because I know that when the next week comes over, I'm going to binge and it's not going to look pretty. So, but remember, whatever diet you go on, if you want to go on a diet, whatever lifestyle change you want to make, you have to consult your doctor first. Talk to your nutritionist. Do it the way is right for you. That's what Jonna did. That's what I do on a daily basis. And I hope that it works for you. It can make those changes and feel healthy and be able to play with those grandkids or, do that whole dance class without, fatiguing and that kind of thing. Have a wonderful Wednesday wine. Next Wednesday, if the second shot of the vaccine doesn't knock me out, we're talking about menopause. And I think men, you should stay in this conversation because if you live with a woman and you love a woman, you're going to want to hear it. Okay. Stop acting like it's a mystery. We're going to dispel all the myths. Have a great night, everybody. Happy Wednesday wine.